welcome to another quick maths tutorial. Today I'll be explaining functions and inverse functions. So a function is when you have any number, and if it can be any number, it's usually represented by x unless specified, and you do some operations to it and you get an output out. So f could be anything. It could be times it by 3 and add 2, but if we don't know it, we just generalize it as f of x. Okay, so that's our function. So what I could say is f of x is equal to 3x plus 2. Okay, so whatever x is, f of x is 3 times that and 2 more than that. Okay, so you might get asked to work out this. It's an f, and I'm going to put in a 2 here. Okay, you might be asked what's f of 2. Since you're told f of x is 3x plus 2, what we can do is we can substitute a 2 in every time we see an x in that function. So f of x, if we sub in a 2, we get 3 times 2, which is 6, plus 2, which gives us 8. Okay, it's really that simple, and that can be a question on both maths papers. Another thing they can ask you, it's a bit slightly harder, is the inverse function, which is if let's say you've put in an x and you've got an f of x, every time you see an x you put in f of x and it will give you back x. It does the opposite. It's the inverse, it's the opposite. It will give you out your input if you put in the output is the reverse. So and you might be given f of x and told to work out the inverse, because you can do that. And a good way of doing that is what I'm going to do here is so take down this barrier from it. Okay, I'm new here so I can have a bit of space for working. What we're going to do is we're going to write it as y equals. Y is equal to 3x plus 2. What we're going to do is I'm going to put the x, and the 3 as well, I'll add that back in, and the y if I can. There we go. And I'm just going to put in x, put in x is equal to 3y plus 2. Okay, so what I've done is I've wrote is y equals, and I've swapped y's and x's about. Okay, and what we're going to want to do now is we're going to want to rearrange it to get it back to y equals. Now we swapped it around. Make x, so basically find out what we can do to x to get us y, because y would be our inverse function in this case. Alright? Okay, so what I can see here is I'm going to take 2 from both sides, and I'll get x minus 2 is equal to 3y. Okay, we just have to divide both sides by 3 to get y on its own. We get x minus 2 all divided by 3 is equal to y, and that x minus 2 all over 3 is f to the minus 1, or the inverse function of x. Okay, so that's all you need to know for this tutorial. In the next one I'll be talking about how to do composite functions where you have one function in another. It's a bit more complicated, and I'll save that for a different video. Okay, but thanks for watching, and leave your views on the comments on what you thought about this video. Okay.